companies around the world. So, you know, it's a strange story in the sense that, okay, Michael Young is a brand in his, you know, lunchbox. But for these companies, they use me to design. For me, to protect my brand, I have to design products that have a level of innovation, or anyone can design anything they want, and that's not what I do. I mean, there's a lot of stuff I do people don't really know, and I will eventually, a lot of coffee makers and things like that, a lot of mass market things, because I enjoy it. But my point for maintaining my security as a designer in the world is to create products that have a fresh impact on the market. A, because they give the company I'm designing for an identity. They give it a point of difference, so the media get involved, and the retailers have something to sell that has a point of difference from their competitors or whoever Joe Bloggs across the street is. So I constantly have to think of what I'm doing next for whatever's on the market. Now, the good thing for me, or the, you know, as I said, I succeeded out of my failures, really, and I had to learn about shape. So my universe is very three-dimensional. Some people are good with maths, some people are good at drawing oil paints, some, you know, flying aircraft. So I have no choice but to live in this world. And again, I guess this is more commercial wooden metal furniture. This is actually for a company in the USA, a very classic American company. This was a car that was designed by a Greek designer for General Motors in the 60s. And it went out of production. It was sort of went on to British Leyland, and it was produced. And about, I'd say, I think about 4 years ago, I bought a house in Australia, and I had a baby there. And I actually bought one of these cars. I built one for fun with a garage, and it just so happened that I had, of course, I was commuting backwards and forwards to Hong Kong every weekend, and the guy I bought some parts off said, I've just rebuilt the car with Cherry Motors, and it was an absolute mess. I was very fortunate that he asked me to redesign this car. Everything on this car has been influenced by my experiences in Asia, because all of the things that, all the details, there's actually so much to talk about with different things I've done here. I don't really, I've got, how much longer? I've got 6 minutes. I'll make it work. You know, a lot of the parts that I designed for the car, like the bumper, I learnt from working in factories that make aluminium parts for bicycles. So the whole car, I had to keep the car the same, keep it understand. What I wanted when I said to the owner, look, the most important thing for me when I designed this car is that a woman who's 80 years old, who might have driven this on a beach when she was, 30, 35, respects it. Because if she doesn't, we've lost the heritage of the car. But I'm going to have to modernize the details. So I kept the integrity of the car and modernized it with all of the updated levels of manufacturing we have from 40 years ago. This was a brand that I started working for. It's gone through 3 transitions. And when I came to Hong Kong, I was very lucky that I was greeted with sort of open arms by a lot of new generation of young business people who wanted to do new things, and they were pleased that there was a designer around to help them. And I got asked to design this a bag, a range of luggage, and again with a point of difference. You'll notice if you go around the shops from Samsonite to Rimowa, no one really does luggage with hard and soft spaces. So, you know, what we did, the first thing we did was go into China and look at all the factories and see if we could make a product which had a hard part on the back for your computer software, and you can open the front and have your clothes inside, so you don't have to open the two, and if you're in a meeting you can get into your computer wear and keep your smelly stuff in the front. So this gives us a point of difference, and this company's grown now tremendously. It sells mainly through its own retail, and we're working on another piece of airline luggage. So we've been working together for 5 years now with this based on really on this product. I should just mention this. People come to me because they want to expand their business, and my job, as I said, is to create what I hope are icons or question how a product is made so I can find a point of difference. And the result of designing a product like this, it really, really goes like this. Now, ODM I've been working with for a number of years, and this watch has been a great success story, because the point being, if we design a watch that is really beautiful and we get the media, then we will get recognized in all of these different countries. So this watch has really helped expand their brand. And if they want to buy this golden watch at the front, they've got to buy all of these products at the back. So this brings a new level of distribution, and we combine that with getting the right people to talk about it. So my job is more than just designing the product. I actually have to get it onto the correct web places. So the fact is, I guess I worked in London, you know, 20 years ago, and I know most of these people like Marcus from D-Zine. They had no money when I knew them. Now they're really successful, but they're still my friends, and they put my products on. And the result of just those few things is getting this much media. This is just a fraction of the media we get. So this is what we have to do now to succeed. We have to have the good product, and we have to have the communication channel, and we have to get to this level and then create the marketing for the product. This has really happened a few times to me. For example, someone can make a sign for me when I got to stop, okay? Because it's literally 3 or 4 minutes, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, anyway, just quickly. So for example, with a company like Giant, I'm an industrial designer. They think I'm a fashion designer because I don't, you know, because I guess I'm not wearing a tie. I don't really know why. I'm not wearing a boiler suit. So they came to me to try and get them out of the sports industry and bring a level of innovation to a bicycle. And this product was really about, this changed my life, because what I learned working in China was that my job is not about myself anymore. It's about all of the guys in this factory, the ladies who are putting the products into boxes, the guys who are delivering them to the shop. That's my responsibility, is to design a product which keeps everyone alive. It's not just about having my name on this bicycle. I really actually don't care about having my name on a product, but it's a sort of necessary evil at times for marketing and promotion. And I guess this was one of the first big projects I really did in Asia, where I got to work with a factory, and all of the products. This is another Hong Kong brand where we're designing headphones using the same factories that were making my aluminium pieces. Again, this was 2006. This is one of the world's first ever Bluetooth rechargeable speakers. Unfortunately, sometimes being innovative gets you nowhere, because it got copied so much. You know, I got this into Colette for them to build the brand, but this market I don't even bother designing in these sort of products anymore, because the competition's so big. Products last 6 months. This was the second one, which was for Native Union. Now, you know, I was sitting in a bar when they came to me. Native Union, they make these sort of little telephone things that took over the world and became a 50 million US company in 2 years, and I wish I'd designed their successful product. Anyway, so quickly, more headphones from cornstarch. We do a lot of other things here, redeveloping brands which need modernizing, products that are classic but fresh. These are some public toilets I'm designing in Beijing, in the Hutongs near Tiananmen Square. So these are being built. Hopefully in about 6 months' time they'll start, and you know, the sort of opportunities we get of bringing things to the people. And I will just leave you with this, which is I designed my own grave here. I had an exhibition, I had a party in Hollywood Road where I invited lots of people, and I made this little island just off Hong Kong, and basically it says your name here, and I actually sold it to someone. It's in their garden, and they will let me have it one day. The funny thing is, when we had this exhibition, all of the local businessmen put their business cards in, so they didn't really understand the irony. But I guess, so look, you know, that's me. I do this for communication. That costs, you know, making these things, that cost about $6,000 to make and about $8,000 to ship. And I couldn't say no to doing stuff like that. For me, this is what life is about. So I'll just leave with you with that. That's what I do in Hong Kong to stay alive sometimes. Thank you. Bye.
Okay. All right. So now we have going to have 15 minutes for the quick Q&A. Okay. We have to keep to the schedule. Otherwise, Jillian will shoot me. Okay, for that. So, you know, any questions from the floor? Right. Do you have a mic for the guests?
So if you went back in time about 30 years and you asked a typical American to name a Japanese brand of electronics, they could have given you 10 different brands. And nowadays in America, just about every electronic product is made in China. But if you asked an American or European, English, or anywhere, to name a Chinese brand, they probably couldn't give you any. I think Lenovo would probably be the closest thing that they could tell you. So wanted to get your thoughts on why that's the case, and maybe share a little bit about what the role of like owning the industrial design process has in developing that situation.
I think one of the biggest problems the USA had was actually starting to use China as its workshop, because it basically denuded its own manufacturing base. You know, not many people know this, but at one time, the first time, within the weeks of coming to Hong Kong, I was asked to help Radio Shack, who've got an office in Harbour City, build their brand, because they were really losing a lot of their market. The whole thing was changing, and you know, they based it on low-level manufacturing and no sense of commitment to the object. And I suppose that effectively, that's just one example of it. It effectively wiped out the sense of quality, whereas, you know, Japanese brands did at the time. That's where you thought you could get quality, when in fact at that time they weren't actually that great a quality, you know. But that was one of the main, and it happened in Germany as well. At one time, that was one of the greatest manufacturing centers in the world, and now it's all shifted to China. But I guess I think because China ultimately has just been used as a workshop, and it takes ingenuity to build the story up behind, and it's easy to build up it's harder to build up stories in technology that have history. You know, a lot of the things that happened in Japan had a very strong connection to culture, and the designers, you know, Sonari Unagi, I can't say his name, and I think that's probably one of the reasons. You used to have Raymond Loewy in the USA, and that's all gone now. That whole culture of innovation and the glory of has vanished into just units counting money. I don't know whether that really answered your question, but you know.
Okay. Any question? Yeah. Right. Okay. Guy.
China is facing a lot of problems, especially with pollution. China is facing a lot of problems with pollution. I wonder whether your vision, anything to thinking about recycling of material to design in that area. By the way, what's the greatest makeup of? Is it plastic?
Marble.
Marble.
Yeah. There's a lot of the things I did when I came here where I try to consider that. It's very difficult to get consumers want it. Manufacturers have a bigger struggle. The headphones, the earbuds I showed you were the world's first ever products made out of cornstarch. It immediately put the price up. However, when we put that onto the market, the response was massive. If you Google that, cornstarch earbuds, EOPS, we sold out immediately because the youth who, you know, they really were picked up on that. They were part of that cycle already. So I try my best to do what I can. A lot of the wood you see is recycled wood. That's what I can do. You know, what can you say? You know, I mean, Apple say they use recyclable aluminium. It's not recycled aluminium, but it does last for a long time. But my furniture will last longer than Apple computer anyway. You know, I mean, I buy one of these a year. I would say, you know, a lot of my products last a long time. So they're sustainable in that sense, but it's a really tricky question. Honestly, I can't really do much about it than make my own little effort.